And we are live. Hey everyone, this is Clinton Douglas with my buddies Allison, Jameson, Jason, and Rob with our special guests Nick and Jonathan Roumain from the Project AWOL TV show. Man, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing good. You?
Good, good, good. So man, I'm excited. I'm really excited. So let's just open the mic up here. Who wants to kick us off today?
I can kick us off, but I don't want to get too deep too quick. But well, first of all, Nick, you cracked me up in that tank top and on the show when you had that tank top on after you guys won that competition. But I actually want to ask you something that was on my mind because I was for those who've seen the show but they weren't on our vision call the other week, they may not have gotten this piece of information, but I was on the call and a lot of what you were talking about really, we lost him, but were you guys on the call?
Yeah, we were on
a lot of what he was talking about really resonated with me, and he was talking about how quickly everything changed for him when he made a decision that he was going to move forward with the business, and also the power of writing out your dream day. So maybe we could throw it over to Jonathan. Is that something that you did as well, as write out your dream day as like a goal to work towards?
Well, I don't do that currently. I do need to get on that because I know how effective it really is. While I was in Thailand, I was doing that. I was there for a month, and yeah, I was writing my dream day every day, and I was living my dream day almost every day. It was crazy. Like there was this one day, I almost literally everything that I wrote down in my dream day happened. Like back to back happened. I lost something, I found it. I wrote down I find in my day, like I lose stuff and I find it easily, and like I found it. I met friends. I made friends with people that I didn't even think I'd would happen. I just wrote I'm making all these great friends, meeting new people, living in paradise. I don't know. It's just when you write down your dream day, you attract it into your life. Because like they were talking about it on the show, you can't create something without thinking of it first. You can't do anything without thinking of it first. Like when you're gonna go have a glass of water, you think about having that glass of water before you actually really just have a glass of water. It's the same thing with dreams and anything.
Right. Gut instincts, man. Gut
Yeah.
instincts. What do you think about that, man?
I gotta
In the
get
show.
back on that though.
Gut instincts during the show, man. During that project with you and Tom and stuff.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? Like I seen that you and Tom had you guys were gelling really good on there, And then Glenn had talked about earlier about his focus. So the gut instincts and Tom's focus, man. Tell us a little bit about that.
Man, well, in regards to the competition that we had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The second they put us together, we were like, oh man, we're gonna win. We're the fastest. Tom's been here a little bit longer. He knows the language a bit. He knows the money worth, and so we're set. And we run off, and then Tom's like, okay, I gotta set a timer. Okay, we gotta go to this one place, and he's doing all these things, and I was like, nah, man, we just gotta we gotta talk to them. We had conflicting ideas. So it made it a little bit hectic in regards to the amount of time that we had to do it. So we ended up really running around everywhere, and it was pretty funny. We in fact were the last ones to go, so we had an idea of how many shirts we needed to get. So we were like, we gotta get 7 shirts. We get 7 shirts, we're good, we're gonna win. And we managed to at the last second get 7 shirts, and we were pretty sure we were gonna win. So we came back with huge smiles on our faces. We're super pumped, and I guess I'll leave Nick with the rest of that because he could explain what happened.
Yeah, we're just talking about gut instincts and Tom's focus on there and the competition. But I know before I get over there, I want to give Brandy the opportunity to restate her question because she had one for you, Nick, if you don't mind. Still there, Nick? Or did he freeze up? Oh, man. Oh, there he is. Wait a minute. That is pesky electrical storms. Well, go ahead, Jonathan, if you want to say something.
No, no, I'm trying to. My voice is trying to make his screen work.
Come on, man. Oh man. That's the power of live television, being online, man. You're doing something live, you always have those glitches and stuff. It's all good though. We'll roll on. Nick, when you get there, man, when you I know you're having a storm over there, just let us know, man. It's all good. But
I don't want to spoil. I don't want to really say what happened. I want to leave it to him because it was pretty funny what happened, and it worked out for him. But yeah, they ended up getting 10 shirts, and it surprised everyone. But yeah.
Jonathan, yeah, I'm actually jumping in here. I wanted to ask you a question about, you had talked about the language barrier. And I know with you all being in a different country, how hard was that to actually talk to the people, to ask them about T-shirts and how much it cost and to actually go through all that? Just talk about the language barrier.
Well, actually, just the language barrier. Everyone speaks really, really, really broken English there. So when you're trying to buy a shirt, that's their job, right? So, and there's a lot of tourists around there, so they know how to speak the base language of what they need to speak in order to sell a shirt. So it really ended up coming down to speaking to them in broken English in order for them to understand. You can't have a full conversation with them. You can just be like, shirt, how much? Okay, I buy this for this or this, and they say no, and then you're like, oh my god. And it was harder because we're trying to get more shirts than usual, right? So it was pretty tough. But what the competition, what the pressure, with the pressure, it gave me the realization that, like, when you have a certain amount of time, you're really going to do whatever it takes in order to make it happen. Like, had I not had a time limit, I might have took my time. I probably wouldn't have pushed as hard to get it done. And in this case, it really shows how anything's possible if you just set a little bit more of a time limit. And man, I read it in the book 4 Hour Work Week just the other day. It's coming right out of my head. It talks about how it's some kind of Parkinson's law. Have you heard of that, Parkinson's law?
Yeah.
How it talks about how, like, let's say when you give yourself a deadline, you make it happen. You do whatever it is that you can do to make it happen. And but that's pretty much what we did. We had like 10, 30 seconds left, and we ended up getting the 7 shirts that we thought we needed to get in order to win. The last second, So that's the same thing. When I see that now, that made me realize that when you're in regards to Empower Network, and you need, like, when people are saying excuses like, oh, I don't have the money, or I can't do this, I can't make it to the event, my cat is my priority, I need to take care of my cat. That was an excuse I got. I swear somebody told me that. Oh my buddy. Or like, oh, I have work. These are just excuses. That's all it really is. Because when it really comes down to it, if you really wanted to do something, or you really needed to get this done, you can make it happen. Anything is possible. You just gotta work around to get it done. I've seen it happen. I got my buddy Rob right here. I've seen him do whatever it takes to get things done, and that's a perfect example. What that show tried to show in that competition was, in a stressful environment, you have a time limit. You need to get something done. Go, and those were the results.
Rob,
So,
thoughts from the show? What do you think, Jonathan?
Well, JR personally, he's a friend of mine and my mentor as well, and I couldn't be happier. This guy, when I first got in to Empower Network, I told him, I said, look, man, you got to just stick with me. You got to give this everything you got. If you want it, you got to go after it. I'm not sure everybody on here knows my story, but I'm a recovered alcoholic, and when I made that, the tools I use in recovery, I use them in my business because it's the same thing. And when I got sober, or made that decision to get sober, see, I wanted it more than anything, and I was willing to go to any length to stay sober. My why is my son, and that's why I do this, and that's why I do Empower Network. And it's no different with this business. And I'll do whatever it takes. And I'm at the point now in my business I made a decision. I got to make some bold moves, and I got to make them fast. You know, because I want to retire. You know, I just want to be free. When I got sober, you know, that freedom of bondage of self, and now I'm at the point in my life I just want to be free, and that's what this is going to allow me to do. So I'll do whatever it takes.
Cool. Jameson.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask Jonathan. I know when they set this task out for you guys, they gave you, how much time did they end up giving you to do that?
We had 10 minutes each.
Oh, 10 minutes.
So, 10 minutes, yeah, to run off.
So they brought you downtown. They said, "Here's your 500 baht. Here's 10 minutes, and go get them."
Yeah, and we've never been there before ever. They just said go. And they played pool while they were waiting.
Did they?
So,
it's still, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It was pretty hectic.
Pretty hectic.
We did some crazy things. They didn't show some stuff. Me and Tom did, but it was pretty funny. Like with guys, we went up to the girls. We're like, hey, you know, we'll show you our chest. We'll give you guys hugs. Come on. We tried it all. We had water. We're like, we'll trade them water. We tried a lot of different things. Like, no, they're like, no, we want money. Thailand, come on.
Wow.
Yeah, because like 500 baht. I mean, what is that? Like it's like $15 or something.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of $15 pretty much. And so everyone, you know, you could buy like maybe 2-3 shirts with that, you know.
Yeah.
But to go ahead and buy 10 shirts, that's something there.
Yeah, well, what I really appreciated about that was like you can really relate that to you know, just getting into this business in the first place, because all of you guys seem to have gotten different results.
Yeah.
And it's almost the same that when you get into this business, you see all these other people getting different results, but really you got to sit there and focus on your results in order to understand, you know, what to really get the full outcome of what or really get what you're what you're looking for, I guess is what I should say. So that, I mean, that was pretty cool, and it really goes hand in hand with the. Let me move my speaker out of here. You guys getting a lot of feedback?
No, you're good.
Okay, it really goes hand in hand too. I mean, with I think it was the first episode or the second episode where they talked about, you know, writing down your goals and because they drop you off downtown, and then all of a sudden they it's like they gave you a goal. They said, you know, here's your goal, go do it in 10 minutes, and it's kind of the same thing. We write down our goals, we put a time frame around it, and then, you know, we just go after it, and we might not get all the same results, but it all matters is that we accomplish that goal. So I mean, that was really cool. I mean, how they set that up.
And they gave us a why, right? They said why, because the person with the most shirts will get 2 members into and they'll put 2 members into our back office, you know, like. So it's like, oh man, well, obviously it's going to entice you to want to really win this, you know?
Yeah.
So they gave us a why, and it was a perfect example to see what would happen. And like everything's relatable, so you could totally relate that to anything in Empower Network, you know?
Now, Jonathan, with you being a dance enthusiast, right? Was it more about the members, or was it more about winning?
Straight up, I was like, yeah, we gotta win. Well, first off, it's like we looked at each other like we're young, we're quick, we have upper hand, you know. We're like, we gotta win this. We thought we did too, so. But, you know, it's all good. I'm so happy that Nick and Brandy won. I'm so happy because Brandy really needed that push, you know. It really helped her. It motivated her, and she came to I'm pretty sure she had a breakthrough there at that moment. Because what happened was they came out with 5 shirts, okay? So we were the last to go. We knew that there was 3, 5, and 6. So like, all right, we just need 7. We're good, you know, easy breezy. So we ran out, we come back, we thought we won. And what happened was the Brandy and Nick, they checked their bag, and it was funny because Brandy said just before she checked the bag, she's like, no, it's not over yet. It's not over this. I know it. We were winning. We're going to win, even though it was over. And they checked the bag, and in the bag, each shirt was glued to another shirt. So by accident, they bought 10 shirts when they thought they bought 5. It was a total accident. It was because the shirts were so thin, they ended up buying 10 shirts. So they were counting them, and as they passed 6 and 7, they started freaking out, and we didn't even know until when they announced it. I see Nick wearing his same shirt. I'm like, what's going on here? He come out with 10 shirts. I was like, oh, that's amazing. And like, it's kind of like a miracle. It's really kind of like she wrote that in her day that she was gonna win. She had her intention set that she was gonna do anything she could to make this happen, to have this dream come true, and it happened. You know, so it's another example that when you really focus on something hard enough and you put your intention on something, that it'll manifest. It totally just manifested. Like, what are the odds that would happen? So it was really exciting to see that happen.
So what you're saying is that intentions really work. When you're on the spot, when you really have to get something done and you really believe in it, intentions work.
Yeah, totally. Like, for another example is for the video that I got nominated for in Denver. The moment I set my intention on it, there was no going back. Like, I didn't even bother getting a flight ticket. My girlfriend was tripping on me all night. I'm up all night working on this video. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "This could like set my month. Like, I'm gonna have 5. I'm gonna win. Like, I'm winning. This is why I'm doing this." And she's like, "You're wasting your time." I'm like, I'm laughing in her face. I'm like, "No, because this is totally worth my time right now. Stop. I'm getting nominated. If I don't finish this in time, I won't get nominated. I won't make it. I won't win. I needed to just do it. I had my intention set, and everything just kind of fell into place, you know?" So, and it's like that with everybody else that got nominated. They all had the same intention. None of them got their flight tickets. Everyone had that intention, and they all achieved it. So,
amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
And another one is when I set my intention that I was going to go to Thailand to do this. That was the moment I got to Thailand was when I realized that that it's possible, that you could really make an income, you know, doing what you love, working less and living more. By the time I got internet in Thailand and I landed there, I had my first $1,600 day. So, that was while I was on the plane. So I was like, this is amazing. Why don't I just do this all the time? Why don't I fly on a plane all the time and make money? You know? So, yeah, it just, the more you get soaked into this, you realize how good this is, you know. And the show really helps out a lot with that, understanding that it's the lifestyle. You gotta live, you know. You gotta live more and enjoy life more, because the next day, like, you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, you know. So you really just gotta enjoy life. And there's so much to enjoy. Thailand is a complete culture shock. I never would have imagined it to be what it was, and it was everything that I would have loved to see, and I saw, and it was paradise for me. I loved it.
What I like is what you said about. Oh wait, I think Jason, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Alan. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because I like what you had said about, I think it's called Parkinson's Law out of the 4-hour work week. I like that, because just that, when you condense time, you can actually get so much more done. It makes me, I don't know, because I know you are a dancer. I don't know if you've ever actually worked a traditional job, but it made me think about work and how arbitrary the 8-hour day and the 40-hour work week is just so arbitrary. Why is it that, you know, everyone, no matter what the job, needs exactly 40 hours to get their work done? It's just completely arbitrary. And you end up spending like more time doing less work.
That's totally true. You could apply that with anything, and I've seen that with dance contracts. I'm a professional dancer, so I do lots of contracts, and the majority of the professional ones that I do, we show up the day before for 2 hours, we rehearse, and then the next day is the day of the show. We do a rehearsal just before going on, and we're good to go, you know? We're professional, we know what to do, and we get everything done. And I've had contracts where people will call me up, and they'll be like, "Can you do this gig for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." We show up at the rehearsal, everybody's late, it takes 3 hours to get things done, we have 5 rehearsals, we're wasting our time, and it's just people aren't putting the time. It's just because it's not structured properly. It's literally, they haven't set a time limit. They kind of just said, we'll practice these times and we'll be good, you know? As opposed to the date's tomorrow, we practice now because we have no more time, you know? So you get things done a lot faster when in school, when kids have homework, you know? It's like it's due next week. Nobody gets their work. You know what? No one did their homework until the day before. It's like, oh, I gotta do it tomorrow. It's due tomorrow. You know, see, oh, it's due in 2 hours. Oh, you write it up really quick and you're good to go. You know, that's pretty much what Parkinson's law is. And yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan, what I wanted to ask you is, you guys talked about your girlfriend, and
Sorry.
when we actually go back to episode 1, you had talked about how she would have didn't she didn't believe me. She had thought you were playing video games on the internet. So so now that all this is over, what are her views on this whole business, and how has your life changed?
Now she sees me making money. Now she sees me that like it's going well right now, but she still doesn't quite understand what it is. Mind you, she doesn't speak any English at all, so she speaks French, so it's really hard trying to get her to understand. But I also have the same issue with my mom, so it might not be. I don't think it's just a language thing. I think it's just a mindset issue at this point, because there are people that just are so fixed on the traditional way of living that they can't even fathom the idea of any other way of living, you know? So it's really hard to get it into their heads, you know, even if you live with them and they see it happening in their face. They just don't understand it because they're so focused on doing what they're doing right now that they're not open. These are people that just aren't open, you know? And it's okay. Everyone has their own pace. Everyone's different. And that's just what it is right now. So I'm still living with it. You know, she's not telling me I'm playing video games now because I'm showing her my results. I'm showing her stuff, but she just doesn't understand what I'm doing at this point. So
I was going to ask you a question. So, you know, real time issue where what you just said, and then relate that to maybe something that happened in episode 1 or 2 or 3 of those same instances where people have that traditional way of thinking. And you've seen it, you know, on the previous episodes or this past episode. Can you think of anything?
On the show of people there having a traditional way of thinking?
Yeah, and just anything, thoughts that might have happened. Like, let's say go ahead.
Well, give me an example, cause
Okay, it's okay. Like, for example, I think it was Anna last week. She was talking about the traditional way of doing business, and then her family, I don't think she still told her family that she's doing Empower Network, you know? And were there other cast members in the previous, like I said, in the previous episodes where you had instances where they had their traditional way of thinking, and then, you know, you guys had an interaction, a conversation, or there's a aha moment, if you will, of like, you know what, let's do it this way. Like, for example, Nick's not on here. Oh, I wanted to ask him about the thinking big. You know, Glenn had made mention that he needs to think bigger. You know, for example, does that help?
Well, to be honest with you, when you're around all these kinds of people that are all striving for more, you know, it's just the energy that you get is amazing. There's no negativity. There's no doubt. There's no nothing. There's just constant positivity, and that's all you get there. Everyone is agreeing with everyone. Everyone's pushing to become better, and we're all like-minded. So you don't really get any traditional way of thinking over there. It's just everybody is all the discussions we have are on bigger ideas, bigger things, the next thing, our goals, our dreams, and that's another great thing is you are the best. You are the average of the 5 people that you hang around, right? So stick yourself in a room with all like-minded people, and you all want more. You're all gonna get more, you know. Stick yourself in a room with people that are constantly talking about how their leg hurts and how work sucks, and well, you're just gonna get sucked in, you know. So it's just a matter of pushing that away and not getting rid of it, you know. Don't get rid of your friends, you know. Just put your energy more towards people that are gonna help you achieve the things that you want to achieve in life, you know, and kind of just push yourself away from the ones that are bringing you down. There's people that are either bringing you up or bringing you down, you know. So make your choice, you know.
I mean, that's just amazing what you just said about, and I'm not going to hog up the mic here. I'm going to pass it on. But it's just amazing about what you just said. You put all these people together that think successful, and successful things happen. You know, you put somebody in the cubicle environment, you get cubicle environment results. I just think that's amazing.
It's nuts. It's just nuts. When you guys, and I've noticed it too a lot, when I'm hanging around some people, they're constantly talking about other people. And I was like, I don't want to be talking about other people. Like, I want to talk about, like, how we can make the coolest thing, you know, or how we could do this and that. I want to talk about ideas or events or doing things. I don't want to spend my time talking about other people. Why? Because what's that going to do for me? You know, nothing really. What point is it to talk about somebody else? What's it really going to do for you? Nothing. So just that's stuff you just gotta prevent. Or you could be a leader and start talking about ideas with your friends that talk about other people. You know, so you could change that.
Rob,
What's up?
thoughts?
I know this guy, so everything he talks is, you know, it's just when I first got started in this business, I would talk to this guy constantly, you know, and now I hardly ever talk to him as well. But everything he talks about is true. He's one of the most positive people I know, and even when I was struggling to get going, you know, he was like, dude, I could feel it coming. You know, you're gonna hit it. And just right like 2 weeks before Denver, I was, you know, I got in back in February. And I made it to Chicago and hadn't made no money, but I had a breakthrough in Chicago, you know, and I seen the value in the products and how important it was. So I got up to the, you know, I bought to Costa Rica, and then I'm sitting there, and even before I'd made any money, man, I got the 15K formula, you know, and then Denver's rolling around, and I'm still, you know, nothing going on, making, you know, 25 here and there, and I called this guy one day. I said, something's got to happen, you know. And he's like, something's going to happen, bro. I can feel it, you know. I feel it. And it was what, JR, like 4 days later? It was
like the very next day.
Yeah, maybe the very next day. I don't know. You know, I had that $1,600 day. And when you hit one of those, man, that just tells me all I need to know that it works, you know. And so he's kept me going with that positive attitude, and all the time he's always telling me, you need to read this book, man, and that's where the key is, because before I got sober, I've read more books since I've been in Power Network than I did in 42 years before I got sober. So there's definitely power in that, and yeah, it's all about attitude. And I work around a bunch of negative people, so I try to drive away from that, and you know, always focus on the why. And what I found is, if I can, even when I wanted to quit doing this, when I wasn't making money, you know, always focus on the why, and keep that in the forefront in your mind. And if you can keep that focus, then you know, there's nothing you can't accomplish. Anything's possible if you're willing to go to any length to get it, you know, and that's why I do what I do. You know, so this guy's real, man. He's the real deal.
Cool.
I love what Rob just shared, because I think that's what oftentimes a lot of people lack is the vision, because they get so stuck in like stage 1 or stage 2, comparing their stage 1 and stage 2 to someone else's stage 3, 4, not realizing how long they may have been working on their business or whatever it might be, and you just get. I just hate to see that someone getting stuck, and it's simply for lack of vision, and that's all it is, not knowing what's right around the corner. So congratulations on that.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think it's, you know, I'm not in competition with anybody on this panel or anybody else in Empower Network, Project AWOL, or whatever. It's about me, you know. It's me. As long as I'm getting better in my business, or even in recovery, as long as I'm better today than I was yesterday, that's all really I can ask for. I'm not trying to compare my progress in anything I do to anybody else, you know. It's key, though, to keep the vision in focus, for sure.
Yeah, Dan, just to add on what you were talking about, Rob, I see a whole lot of people within network marketing that want to have instant results, but I'm actually a small business owner, and it took me years before I actually saw revenue. And there are people on the internet that want to see revenue within a week or two or within a month. It takes time.
Right.
You are in the business.
It's all about slow and steady wins the race.
Exactly.
That's how it is. There's so many people that join and they're like, oh, I want to make $1,000 now. It's like, well, if you want to do that, you got to put these things into place, and you'll get there. It'll take time, depending on how, if you're all in or not. It's gonna differ on how fast you'll get there, you know. But it is really a matter of taking your time and slow and steady really wins the race. You gotta just everyone has their own pace, and that's just the way it is, you know.
It's kind of like the old. Remember the cartoons, man? When you had the coyote, I think it was a coyote or something like that, and then you had the turtle. You know,
I must
and
have missed that one.
it was a race. It was a
I
race.
remember the coyote, but not the turtle.
It was a coyote or some kind of animal, and it was a rabbit. Maybe it was a rabbit and a turtle. I don't remember. But anyways, they would always race, and the rabbit, okay, during this race, the rabbit would be running. He run like really fast, get far, and he go take a nap. And then the turtle is just do, you know. But he's focused. He knows where he needs to get. He needs to get to the finish line. And as the race goes along, you know, the rabbit keeps doing stupid stuff like he's going to eat or just goofing off the whole way, not really focused. And the turtle, he's focused on where he wants to go. He wants to make sure he makes it to the finish line. And at the end of the day, of course, the turtle wins because of determination and focus. And the rabbit wakes up. It was Bird Rabbit. I think it was Bird Rabbit. Anyways, at the end of the day, the turtle is, because of his focus, he finishes the race and he wins the race. But in life, people think that it's always about the fast and you know, and the glitzy and the you know, all that stuff. But when it comes down to it, it's about focus and your intentions on where you want to be. You know,
staying consistent.
Exactly.
And persistent.
Jonathan, because Rob had mentioned how you were just a really positive force and like a reinforcement. So do you want to speak about this at all? Because I know a lot of times people like to project their own self-limiting beliefs on other people, and they don't do it intentionally, but they're trying to protect them or what have you. And I know even parents have that bad about telling kids, well, maybe you should be a little bit more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you find that inspiration to encourage someone to go after their dreams and not be realistic and not play it safe?
Recently, it's been from all the books that I've been reading. But when I look back on my history of the things that I've gone through in my life, I feel like it's all bits and pieces that have brought me to the point of where I am right now. Because I only started dancing at 20. I was self-conscious. I used to figure skate when I was a kid, and I quit because girls were calling me gay. And I was like, this is nuts. Like, I don't want to figure skate if people are going to call me gay. I don't want to dance if people are going to call me gay. You know, like, and I ended up going to a high school, where for grade 10 and 11, it was a special program called Embarcations. It was a test that they tried doing on a certain, like 30 different students, where they taught us differently. They would teach us in the morning, assign us our homework, and then we couldn't leave until our homework was done. But this is the thing, we ended up leaving at around 12 o'clock every day, and we learned so much faster that I actually did my exams earlier, and I graduated high school half a year earlier and went to college quicker. And then that made me realize that you don't have to spend all this time in school and like you could learn high school by grade 7, you know, and be out of high school. So that was my first realization, that like working less, living more, you know. So that I had, my dad was always on my back, always telling me, do what you want, live your dreams, be happy. I started dancing. That's when I lost all self-consciousness. I stopped being self-conscious, you know, and I was just like, I'm gonna dance. People are like, what, is that gay? And I'm like, let me see. I get to dance all these pretty ladies while you guys go play hockey and you go changing with the other guys, take showers. It's like, what's gay, you know? And then I started I got feisty, I got really positive and focused, and I knew that what I was doing was right deep inside because it's what I wanted to do. And then when Empower Network came in place, you know, then I started reading these books about self-development and stuff, and that's when stuff really kicked in. And it's like, we're technically born perfect, and then we're given layers and layers of beliefs which will in return limit us. So that's why no one's perfect. It's because we're layered with limiting beliefs, you know. And when you're reading self-development books and when you're sticking around positive people and around people that are going to help lift you up, you start shedding those limiting beliefs, you know. You start getting rid of them, and then the more limiting beliefs you drop, the closer you are to that perfection or that real like what it is that you really want in life, you know, and then you start to feel better. You start getting more in line with what it is you want. You're in the right vibration. You know, you're saying one thing and you're doing that thing now. It's not like you're saying one thing and you're doing something else. You know, you're really in line with what you are, and that's when you feel great. So that's why I feel like it's a lot easier for me now to project it on other people because I'm living it and I'm reading it every day. It's like, you know, it's like when you take, what's that Zig Ziglar quote where you take showers? They say bathing, you should be doing it daily. It's the same thing about motivation. You know, you got to do it daily because you will lose motivation. Just the other day, I was like, and then, you know, I read a book and I was like, I'm good again. You know,
Right.
So it's really all about staying consistent on everything, right, on all levels. Motivation, positivity, the people you're hanging around, you just gotta stick to it. You know, it's like health. You know, you want to stay healthy. Well, be healthy. You know, don't be healthy and then start eating McDonald's. You know, you're not being consistent. Let's say I want to be healthy, but I don't want to have one McDonald's over here. It's not gonna hurt. You know, I'm gonna be healthy, but I'm gonna drink Diet Pepsi. Yeah. I need my aspartame. Anyways.
Yeah, for anyone who knows, don't drink. On here, don't drink diet soda. For anyone who might be watching.
My girlfriend is nuts on that Diet Pepsi, man. She's so crazy on it, and her excuse is, I'm healthy with everything else, which she is, but it's like, you just, yeah. She buys 3 bottles a week, man. She's nuts with that stuff. But anyway.
It's like what Sam Crawley said in the Inner Circle, man. I've been listening to this about 4 times, man, even maybe 10 times. I don't know. I listen to this thing a lot. And I like what he said, and you said it. You have made mention it, too. We were born original. I got my son here. My wife had to do the football handoff here. But we're born original, but we die a copy. We're born original, but we die a copy, you know? And it's so true, man. We are molded in the environment that we're raised in, you know, and it's up to us once we become of the age, you know, to make the decision of where we want to go. And like you said, you know, I mean, you put a kid in a room and you say, hey, look, you got to do this homework or you're not going home. Shoot, they're going to get it done, you know. But at the same time, you put an Xbox in there. You say you got your choice. You can do homework or you can do Xbox.
Right.
What are they going to do? They're going to pick up the Xbox. You know, so man, I like that, man. I like it.
So it's just all about, man, just being consistent and sticking. The main thing, I think, if you had one thing that you could change, or would be just start associating with positive people. Start socializing. You say, and then you have people saying, well, I don't know anybody that's positive. Well, there's Facebook. You know, there's so many people on Facebook. That, like, my newsfeed is nuts. I open my newsfeed and I just got positive quotes and people, and I'm like, this is amazing. I love it now. There's so many people you can connect with on Facebook, and that's just one other way of being around more positive people. It's gonna help you. You know, that's the main thing that I would tell people. So that's like the events, for example. You know, if there's people not sure, I say, don't even worry. You know, just come to the event. You know, like, I'll pay for your ticket. I know that it's going to change your life. Come to the event. You need to be around these kind of people, you know. That's the only thing that's going to really help you, you know. And then from there, everything's one step at a time, right? Then you start learning new things. You start realizing people come to their own realization. You can't convince anybody to do anything, you know. They convince themselves, and they give their own reason why they chose, you know. You don't choose for them. That makes sense. I like.
Yeah, no, man, you're right on it, man. Yeah. What about the stress, man? You know, from being on the show and then, you know, doing some, you know, like you were in this past episode, you were doing getting the T-shirts. How was the stress level? Is it comparable to what you were doing in dancing, or a different type of stress? Happy stress, let's say.
Stress in regards to the time limit that we had.
Yeah, the stress in the time limit. Yeah.
I think that kind of stress is good. Because it gets you moving and it gets you doing things. I saw on TED Talks the other day. It's the only TV I watch is TED Talks, TED TV. That stuff is great. There's a guy talking about. Man, I just lost my train of thought. Beautiful. It talks about stress, anxiety. There it is. A little anxiety is actually good for you because it gets you moving. It gets you doing something. So they're saying, like, people that are overweight, well, it's actually your brains shrink, so you get less smart. Well, there's a little anxiety, you know. The guy said he learned that and he lost 25 pounds, you know. So it's like a little stress and a little anxiety is good for you. It's not the same kind of stress where it's like, oh my God, my brother keeps yelling at me, or my sister, my mom. You know, it's this guy. That's a bad kind of stress that you don't want to associate. But when you have a stress like, oh, I got to be somewhere real quick, then you start thinking, how can I get there faster? And you make it happen. That's a good kind of stress.
What? Can I ask you? What was your Well, let me back up a bit because obviously your belief level right now is through the roof because you're helping other people, you're earning an income. Congratulations again on the contest. So all these things are happening. What was your mind frame before Thailand? Like when you were actually deciding whether to go, like what made it, what happened? What was your thought process that said, yes, I'm absolutely making this happen?
My thought process, well, what happened was I had previously been on a dance TV show, a French dance TV show. So I knew what kind of exposure I would get from it, because I got a lot of exposure from the TV show that I did. So I was like, anybody would be crazy not to do this, you know. So I heard about this. I was like, I gotta figure a way out to get this done. And after about a month and a half, I still didn't make the decision yet, but I was reading books and I was getting a lot of results. And I was like, okay, I gotta make it happen. And I went and got a loan to afford being able to go on this. And I just made it happen. And that's just what it was, you know. And then from there, I have zero regrets. I think it's the best money I've ever invested in my life. And that's another thing for me when I see that. Like I see people telling me they can't do this, they can't do that. There is no excuse. There's always a way, you know. Sell your junk. You know, even selling your stuff is going to be even better for you because then it's just weight off your shoulder. You know, you don't need. There's a lot of crap you have that you don't need. You can get rid of. There's always a way. You know, work harder, get another job for now. You know, it's a way of your why. You look at your why, and depending on how bad you want that, yeah, how important your why is will show me or anybody how much you want it. You know, because then you're pretty much gonna tell us by doing what your actions are gonna tell us how important your why is. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, well, I want to be free. Well, how bad do you want to be free?
Right.
Pretty bad. Well, are you gonna do whatever you can to get $2,000 so you can invest in being free? Well, okay. You know. And at the same time, that too is still okay. Sometimes they just don't have that understanding yet. So you got to guide them to give them the right tools to understand, for them to come to their realization that, oh, yes, I do need to do this to get this result, you know, to reach my goal. So that's why I think books are very helpful. Being around people is very helpful. And this show is really, I love how they're showing the show. It's just lifestyle. Through lifestyle, they're showing people how you can be free, and it's crazy.
I think Tony Rush says there's never a lack of, he may have gotten this from somewhere else, but there's never a lack of resources, only a lack of ideas.
Yeah, totally. There's so many books to read. There's so many books, and then there's the show. Now there's this show, so it's like, there's so much to help you. Is that a sissy?
So besides 4 Hour Work Week, I think you said you were reading that. Besides that, what are you reading right now, or what have you recently read?
How to win friends, how to influence people and win friends. Happy Pocket Full of Money, The Magic, Secret Mind of the Millionaire. There's so many books. Think and Grow Rich. Tracy Walker is talking about it in Chicago, the 50th Law. There's so many books. Like, I could go on forever. There's so many books that you can read that will help you. You know, each book will help you in a different way. Each book that you read, when you put it down, you will have learned something new. You know, that you can apply.
Hey guys, I don't know if you can see me or hear me, but there's something goofy going on here on my Google, man. It's like the whole browser froze up. So I hope can you guys see audio and video pretty good over on your guys end?
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
Are
we're
you
gonna
like,
keep,
are you like not moving right now?
dude.
Oh,
there it is.
and we're back. We can't hear you though. No.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yep.
we can.
I do not know what happened, man. Just like holy crap, it just like went berserk on me, man. Everything like everybody like froze, man.
We could still see and hear you at least I could. I could still see and hear you just fine, and then all of a sudden you were gone.
Yeah, man, I don't know what happened, man. So I had to kill it, and then it said resume. Because I went and checked it on the thing on my live page, and I got this thing that says we'll be right back. It's all in Japanese and French and stuff. Oh man, and it's a great dialogue. So hopefully, guys, I'm sorry about the delay there. Who's watching this? We had a little technical glitch there with Google. We're still live, by the way. All right, we'll pick back up where we left off there. Sorry about that, Jonathan. There, we kind of froze up there.
All good.
All right. Hey, go ahead, Jameson. Go ahead, pick up the mic.
I guess I was just going to add to some of those points there. I was listening to a recording of Justin Berengia the other day, and he was talking about, just like you guys were talking about, it's a race, and you really should be in competition with yourself, and as long as each day you're moving ahead with yourself, or you're improving every day to do better than you did. You brought home some points with that, and then as far as like personal development goes, I know one of the things that I always tell my new members is the inner circle is really what I consider personal development for the internet marketer. Exactly. And so that's one of the first things I usually tell them to get is to stay on that every day. And I've had guys. I'll give you one experience. I had a guy that I told him, I said, well, put it on your iPad or your iPhone or whatever, bring it to work with you, listen to it every day, and he was making like less than $1,000 a month, and within 2 months after listening to the inner circles, he decided he was coming all in, and now he's doing pretty awesome. So it's powerful stuff. It gives you a totally different mindset and a different shift in your mind, or a paradigm shift, as Stephen Covey would say, and it helps you start setting those goals and make it real to you. Because really, if it's not real to you, you're not going to do anything about it. So
yeah.
Anyhow, I just wanted to throw that out there.
And the thing is that you can listen to that. Well, you listen to that while you're driving or while you're doing brainless activity. So it's not like it's really out of your way. It's while you're doing brainless work.
Yeah, it's a great product.
Hey, the gift jar, Jonathan, for next week. Sorry about my son here. The gift jar for next week, man. Can you give us a teaser, man?
Teaser. Well, we give. Yeah, we give, and it's not what I expected. Oh wait, they show it. They showed Nexton, right? They showed the Nexton. Okay, yeah. So you see where we go. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, man. I didn't expect that at all, and when they said that we're gonna go paint an orphanage, I was like, what? Like, this is intense. I had no idea I was going to come to Thailand and paint an orphanage, But then I'm sure they're going to show it in the show. But once you start, it gave me the feeling that when you're put in a place where you could live your life and do whatever you want, well, you have so much more time to give more. Like I'm in Thailand painting an orphanage. Had I not joined Empower, I would never been in Thailand painting a freaking orphanage. So. It's really good to see that there's people that will say, I don't need the money, I'm just gonna give and stay broke, and I'm okay, I can still give. Well, why not? Wouldn't it be nicer to be able to make like a lot of money, and because you have a lot of money, you can give even more. You could give a portion of your money to build wells, in third world countries that for kids that don't have water, you could help contribute to that now because you've decided to make that decision into improving your life, So it's pretty awesome. That's what you're going to see next week.
Cool,
And
man.
I'm sure they're gonna show a lot of Tom. He was
Cool,
loving
cool.
it. He was loving it. Mm.
Cool. So the wrap up here, man. Just closing thoughts, real quick, maybe about a minute. We'll start with Ashley. Sorry. We'll start with Alice.
Oh, it's all good. It was just actually, closing thoughts is just, it was really cool hanging out with you virtually, Jonathan. Hopefully, maybe we can connect at the next event, and continued success. And congratulations on that winning that contest, because that video was awesome. And thanks for all the insight today.
Thank you.
Jameson.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you being on today with us. Awesome material we covered over. Your video was outstanding that you produced for the competition there. Congrats for that. And yeah, man, thanks a lot. And hope to see you around the next events.
Jason.
Yeah, Jonathan. Yeah, I want to say thanks for actually being here with us, and just some closing thoughts on the show. What I actually loved is at the end of the whole show how everybody was happy for everybody else, and that is this industry as a whole. How nobody is here to hurt or to hinder everybody else. Everybody wants to help everybody else, no matter what team you're on. It's just all a helpful attitude, which I actually love about this industry.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing. We're all here to help each other reach our dreams. It's not like you go to work at a 9 to 5 and it's like, oh, I gotta work harder than this guy so I can get the raise. We're fighting to the top. It's really stressful. That's not good stress. And here it's literally like, even the way the comp plan's set up, it entices people to help others. If you want to make more money, well, you gotta help people. But you know what? By helping people at the same time, like, you're gonna help yourself. And it's just crazy. We're sharing our way to the top. Where it's like, hold my hand and I'll help you get, not hold my hand, but it's kind of like I'm doing my hand, but the camera doesn't see it. It's like there's a picture of a chart where people are like fighting their way to the top, and then there's another picture where people are like helping each other up to the top. That's what this is. We're helping each other. That's what I love about it. It's a helping industry, and we're all happy for each other with our results. And there's nothing saturated about it. There's so many people in the world, and this is nothing, We're a small community right now, helping each other live our dreams. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you, Clinton, for hitting me up the other day. I'm super pumped. So I'm really happy that I was able to be here, and it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man. And sorry for the baby here today. Like I said, my wife, she had to go somewhere, man. When you have 7 kids, man, it comes sometimes to be a challenge. But it's all good, man. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Take care.
Right, bye-bye.
Bye.